1800 hours, Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Farzana Khan. First, the headlines. Prime Minister says Ravi River Urban Development Project being constructed at a cost of $20 billion will create a lot of job opportunities and promote several sectors. Information Minister hails the passage of State Bank of Pakistan Amendment Bill from the Senate today. Pakistan has again urged the international community, especially the United Nations, to take specific actions to refrain India from continuing its negative, hostile and regressive policies in illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Indian-American Muslim Council in Washington has expressed concern over human rights violations in India under Modi-led fascist government. The United States has called an open meeting of UN Security Council on Monday over Russia-Ukraine issue. In Pakistan Super League, Quetta Gladiators will take on Peshawar Zalmi in Karachi this evening. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan says under $20 billion Ravi Urban Development Project, a modern and planned city, Ravi Urban, is being built. Talking to newsmen at Rakh Jog Jungle at Sheikhupura today, he said the project is very crucial, keeping in view the speedy growth of Lahore city, and it will be the second planned city after Islamabad. He said the Ravi River project will create a lot of job opportunities and promote several sectors. He said the project will also have a positive impact on environmental protection and reduce pollution. The Prime Minister said 20 million trees will be planted in Rakh Jog Jungle, which will increase underground water levels besides saving River Ravi as well. Punjab Chief Minister Sardar Usman Buzdar called on Prime Minister Imran Khan in Lahore today. During the meeting, overall political and administrative situation in the province and ongoing development and public welfare projects were discussed. The Senate was informed today that the government is taking steps to make small airports of the country operational. Speaking during question hour, Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs Ali Muhammad Khan said commercial traffic stands suspended at different airports due to non-availability of commercial airlines. The Minister of State assured that there will be no discrimination with any province regarding commencement of domestic flight operation. Meanwhile, the House passed the State Bank of Pakistan Amendment Bill 2022 today. The bill laid by Finance Minister Shaukat Tareen was aimed at provision of necessary operational and financial autonomy to the State Bank to enhance transparency and strengthening accountability. Minister for Information and Broadcasting Chaudhry Fawad Hussain has expressed his pleasure over the passage of State Bank of Pakistan Amendment Bill 2022 by the Senate. In a tweet today, he said, "Those dreaming of no confidence have failed even in the House, where they have the so-called majority." He said the government has proved that all the parties together cannot defeat Prime Minister Imran Khan. Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting Farooq Habib has also hailed the passage of State Bank of Pakistan Amendment Bill and termed it as a victory of the government. In a tweet today, he said the opposition dreamt of no confidence against the government, but its defeat on the bill is a no confidence against itself. National Security Advisor Dr. Mueed Yusuf vows not to be deterred by cowardly attacks and continue developmental path in Balochistan. In a tweet today, National Security Advisor reiterated that efforts for peace and development in Balochistan would continue and could not be impeded by inimical elements. Dr. Mueed Yusuf also assured to make the mastermind of Cage terrorist attack be exposed and brought to justice. This is Radio Pakistan giving you the news. Foreign Office spokesman Asim Iftikhar Ahmed has urged international community, especially the United Nations and permanent members of UN Security Council, to take specific actions to refrain India from continuing its negative, hostile and regressive policies in occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Responding to questions during a weekly news briefing in Islamabad this afternoon, he said Indian government's oppressive policies are continuing unabated in the Held Valley. He said Pakistan will continue raising voice for Kashmiri people facing tyranny of the Indian forces in India, illegal occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The spokesperson said Pakistan wants cordial relations with all its neighbors, including India, but New Delhi does not reciprocate in the same manner. Asim Iftikhar dispelled the impression of any showdown in projects being carried out under China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. He said both Pakistan and China are strongly committed to take the CPEC forward and make it successful. The spokesperson also urged international community to come forward in fulfilling the humanitarian needs of the people of Afghanistan. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, incarcerated All Parties Hurriyat Conference Chairman Musarrat Alam Bhatt says Kashmiri's freedom struggle is based on the principles of truth and justice, and India will never succeed to suppress it through use of military might. In a message from New Delhi's infamous Tihar jail, Musarrat Alam Bhatt urged the United Nations to impress upon India to stop its state terrorism in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir and give the Kashmiri people their right to self-determination. Meanwhile, the occupation authorities did not allow people to offer Jummah prayers today at historic Jamia Masjid in Srinagar for the 26th consecutive week. On the other hand, speakers of a virtual panel discussion organized by Indian American Muslim Council in Washington expressed concern over human rights violations in India under Modi-led fascist government. The United States has called for an open meeting of UN Security Council on Monday to discuss Russia-Ukraine issue. In a statement, the U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, said the Security Council should address the West's concerns that Russia is in the midst of preparations to invade Ukraine. The U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has ordered Pentagon officials to undertake reforms to reduce the number of civilian deaths from military strikes. In a directive issued to officials of Defense Department, he said the protection of civilians is fundamentally consistent with the effective, efficient, and decisive use of force in pursuit of U.S. national interests. The move has come after several incidents placed a dark cloud over the Pentagon, most recently the erroneous killing of 10 people, including 7 children, in a drone strike in Kabul in August last year. At least 3 rockets hit Baghdad International Airport compound and its adjacent U.S. airbase today. According to an official of Iraqi Interior Ministry, rocket, which hit airport's runways on the parking areas, damaged one disused civilian airplane. The United Nations says that the attack by Daesh on a Syrian prison holding 3,000 of its fighters and about 700 children is a predictable tragedy, spotlighting the need for urgent international action. The UN Under-Secretary General Vladimir Vorokov said the Security Council that the deadly siege underscores that efforts must be made to deal with those allegedly linked in the armed group in prisons and camps in the country's northeast. And now cricket. In the second match of Pakistan Super League, Quetta Gladiators will take on Peshawar Zalmi in Karachi this evening. In the quarter-final of ICC U19 World Cup in the West Indies, the match between Pakistan and Australia is underway at North Sound. And finally, the weather report. Mainly very cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. Fog is likely to prevail in Upper Sindh, plain areas of the Punjab and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa during night hours. And with that, we come to the end of the news. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News.